Right, hello. I had a few technical difficulties. That's the easiest way to call it. I basically could not understand how to. I scheduled this live stream and then I couldn't figure out how to get it to go live. Anyway, so hi everyone. Today is the 8th of April. We have got it right. Wednesday, the 8th of April. And how are you doing? Wherever you're watching me from. Today we are going to talk about housework, cleaning, and chores. And should we be letting our men do them? It's a very, very difficult topic. It's, yeah, very emotional on my part anyway. Now, what is housework? Let's do that first of all. If you're watching after I've done this recording, I want you to just put down in the comment section, what do you think housework actually is? What do you consider to be housework? You might not consider anything to be housework. You might just be like, well, you know what? I actually like cleaning and I like doing all of this other stuff. I don't consider it to be work at all. Or you might actually just find it an absolute nightmare and do absolutely nothing at all. Now, for me, housework is basically when I do the cooking, the cleaning, the tidying up. So cleaning is like hoovering, doing the beds, doing the bathrooms, basically anything that is in the house, I'm on top of it and I'm cleaning it. So all of that constitutes housework to me, doing the laundry, any little DIY jobs, changing lights, all of that kind of stuff. And so this is what I consider to be work to be done in the house. Anything that keeps your house aesthetically pleasing in the long run, that's work. Now, my household and how my household works is very, very strange because I come from a beautiful, beautiful background where I was raised knowing that women should prove themselves in the household. Basically, if you want to be a wife type woman, you've got to prove that you've got all bases covered. You come into a house and you tidy up. You can cook for your husband. You can keep a good meal on the table, keep your kids looking tidy and clean and all of that. You know, I'm from Zimbabwe. So, you know, in Zimbabwe, it's like we were raised. We had our father's sisters who we'd call anatete. Anatete would show us what we would have to do. And we have this thing as well in Zimbabwe that when you get married, semurora, or the daughter-in-law, you go to your husband's family and you prove to them that you've also been taught how to do the housework properly, which is great. Because, you know, when you get married in Zimbabwe, depending on where you get married at, you could go to a place and there's like 20, 30 people in a homestead. And every single morning you would have to get up in the morning, make sure you go and fetch water, boil that water, give everyone water so they can have the individual baths, make breakfast. So you either go there on your own or you go there, if you're clever, with a team. So they all help and share all of this work. But it was very much female centric. So anything to do with housework, household chores, household duties was very much about the female. That's where I grew up. I don't know how it was where you grew up, but that's how I grew up. And even like around the house, the girls would be expected to do the lion's share of the housework. That was just the way that it was. My brother could be off skipping off, doing whatever. You know, my male cousins, they'd be like doing whatever. But the girls would have to be like at home, learning how to keep a good household. Very 50s, I know. It is what it is. Now, the problem that we now have is that I've now grown up and I've got married to a Scottish guy who's absolutely gorgeous. My husband is gorgeous. And I think the brilliant thing about him is that I can talk to him about anything, which is where it's really, really helpful. Because even now, I've been in this country longer than I was ever in Zimbabwe, but I still have this notion, this deeply embedded guilt if I leave him to do any housework. That's messed up. I know. He doesn't mind doing housework, but I still feel really guilty. Now, this is the way that my household works. On any given day, now because I've got two kids, so I realized that my work was becoming even more. So, you know, because I've got two kids, I wake up every day around 3:30. I know, 3:30. I go to sleep like around 7:30 or 8 because I gotta get up in the morning so I can do my work. It's like proper chumusharish. But, you know, I wake up at 3:30. tidying up the house. So any stuff that was left over from the previous night, I will tidy it all up, tidy up all the communal areas, put the toys and stuff away. Because obviously sometimes I go to bed before my firstborn does. Put all that stuff away, do the dishes, hang up the laundry, take down the laundry from the previous night, because there's always laundry to do in my household, you see. You know, people wear clothes all the time. Then at that point it's about 4:30. So I get my clothes on and I do my little workout. My own time is in the morning if my household permits me. This is traditionally how it's been. If the household permits, I only get my time in the morning. So my little turn to shine is from 4:30 until the kids wake up. With a second born, she wakes up like every half an hour or every hour. So you can imagine how complicated my mornings become. So 4:30, I do my little workout, my 30, 40 minutes of mommy time, which is also struggling time, sad to say. And when I'm finished doing that, then, I'll sit down and try and bang out as much work as I possibly can. Like, the paid work. Which is why I keep saying, it's taking me forever to actually do Sarura Kids videos. Because right now, I don't know whether my second's going through like a growth spurt or whatever, but she's very sort of needy and just constantly needing me back upstairs regularly. This child is like now eating solids. So I was thinking at this point, she's going to be sleeping through the night. No, not happening. So then between 4:30, sometimes she gets up at 6. Well, between 5 actually, or 5:15. Sometimes she gets up at 6. Nowadays, for some reason, her older sister's also decided that it's time for her to wake up. Today, my girl woke up at 5:45. Confidently woke up, wandering around, Mai awake, Mai awake, because she can't say I'm. She's too young to understand the difference between I, my, all that. Yeah, she's just like, Mai awake, Mai awake. And she's like, yes, you are awake. And well, why are you awake? Mai happy. Okay. You might be happy, but nobody else in this house is right now. So the kids will get up at stupid o'clock. So I effectively end up, or I did used to end up, with no time at all for me because I'm constantly focused on the housework or the kids. Now, this week you're wondering, what is she doing? Why is she, I've negotiated my way. So even though I'll wake up and I'll do all of this, so before this week, let's backtrack to that. So then the kids wake up around 6 o'clock. I do their, bath time. I do their breakfast. We go out. We have a little wander around. We discover. Come back, have lunch, which I make, by the way. We finish making lunch. My firstborn is settling down to go to sleep. Maybe my secondborn has gone to sleep before lunch, or just after lunch, she'll go to sleep. If they're both down at the same time, or if they're not, and I need to shush my secondborn, I will carry my secondborn, put her in a sling, go and start doing some ironing. Yeah, do my ironing while my baby's in a sling. I know, it is like so sad. Which is why I love the cover picture that I did for this live stream, because that is so true of my life right now. Put my baby in the sling, do the ironing, she'll fall asleep. This child is now conditioned that once she's in that sling and she feels that mummy's moving that arm, it's time for her to go to sleep. So she goes to sleep. She rocks off to sleep. So I then take her upstairs and I put her to sleep. I'll do about an hour of ironing because I know then at that point I've got about 2 hours that I can work with. I'll start to prepare stuff for dinner if I'm organized. If they wake up before I've managed to start preparing stuff, then I'll do it once they've gotten up. They come downstairs, play around. Did I mention first thing in the morning, I'll just hoover a little bit when I'm doing my little tidying up. So yeah, they'll play around. We'll have fun time with the kids, yada, yada, yada. 5 o'clock comes, I start to properly get into doing dinner, which is around the time that, my husband, if he does, descends or comes back home from work. And, well, this is before lockdown. And he looks after the kids while I do the cleaning up. So traditionally in my household, it would be first thing in the morning, if I wake up early enough, is when I get my time to do anything work related or for myself and my physical well-being or emotional well-being or whatever. And 5 until 6 while I'm doing the cooking, because dinner's served at 6. And then, of course, we have dinner. After dinner's finished, I'll go upstairs with the second-born. My husband stays downstairs with my firstborn. And then they go upstairs probably around 8 or something, or 8:30. So that's the way that the household has always been. And bearing in mind, I've been with my husband for a long time now. And he is very much a Western man in the sense that he does offer to help. do the housework. He does offer to help with the cooking. He does offer to help with the childcare. It was only, where are we now? Probably about 5 months ago, I burnt out, like burnt out bad, bad, to the point that I was literally, when you're sort of like so insomniac, you don't know what time it is. And this is me coming out of just having given birth, but I was still trying to get on top of everything because that's just the way that I was taught. But I burnt out to the point that I was like, you know what, I can't actually do this anymore. I need a day, which is just going to be about mom. And I was actually quite good in the beginning because I took Saturday. He was like, well, I can do Saturday. You basically do nothing on a Saturday. But, you can't do anything if you're breastfeeding your child. You're always constantly on call, whatever. But the first few weeks, I was actually really quite good. I sat around and did nothing on a Saturday. And then the guilt, that guilt that you've been trained as a child, you should always feel guilty for not doing stuff around the house. That guilt started to kick in. My girl, I was like getting up on a Saturday, on my day off. I think I did a few Mai Ano videos as well when I was forcing myself to do my Saturday relaxation. I would get up on a Saturday, like at 6 o'clock. I'm like, you know what? I slept until 6. It's okay. My body's hurting. It's like you've got so used to constantly being on edge that when you relax, you start to feel certain kinds of pains in your bodies, and you're like, oh, okay, this is aching. This is not nice at all. So my body was like aching. And I'm like, why is my body aching? So I get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I think it was because I was like humming for a fix. I know I'm addicted to housework. I know. I'd be like, oh, humming for a fix. I gotta get my fix. I gotta, let's go clean downstairs. Let's go tidy this up. If I leave it until people wake up, it's just gonna get on top of everyone. And I'd be there having this internal dialogue with myself. And people are sleeping upstairs. And then when they come downstairs, no one's moving fast enough. My husband's not tidying up the kitchen fast enough. Why isn't he doing the dishes? There's dishes. There's dishes in the sink. Or maybe I should just do the dishes. I'd be having all these weird dialogues with myself. Oh, look at him. He's cleaning, but he's not cleaning fast enough. Oh, he's not doing it the way that I would do it. Actually, if he wants to clean, he's just like bash everything together. Then it's a lot faster. And I'm there on a conscious level. I know I have a problem. I know I actually have an addiction to cleaning. I hate cleaning. This is the other thing. I hate cleaning and I hate doing the laundry. I love seeing the end result of all of this work because, of course, who doesn't love seeing like a really smart, tidy, shining house, which in my situation also involves a house that smells of bleach from top to bottom. Who doesn't enjoy seeing that? But the problem is when you become addicted to it, you become addicted to the processes to keep on top of things. And you can't actually let go enough to allow someone else to do it to their capabilities. My husband is very capable, but psychologically, a part of me won't allow him to take ownership of that. And that is very much a result of the conditioning of my childhood. Now, so I want you to say in the comment section below, what is the housekeeping arrangement in your household? How do you share work between yourself and your partner? And is this something that you've had to negotiate, or is it something that just happened? And also, I want you to tell me, are you happy with that arrangement? Because how do you actually do a split? We have situations where, to me, and this is really quite sad, it's not like I'm incapable of doing DIY, but I will leave the DIY to my husband. I'm just like, you know what, that's a man's job. Yeah, okay. Light bulb needs changing. I'm like, oh, boo boo, yeah, light bulb. Yeah, can you do that? It's not like I can't get onto a chair and like change it. I used to live on my own for like years, and I used to do all the DIY stuff. I do all the painting, the changing of door handles, fixing up the lights, doing the stuff in the garden, all of that ting and ting. I would do it. I would do it because I was on my own. But the minute that I got a man, I'm like, you know what? That's a man's job. And there's no reason why it should be a man's job. Men can clean, they can chop onions, chop whatever, put stuff together. They can cook, they can tidy up a house. You can tell them, boo boo, okay, can you go and do this? If he's not quite doing it the way that you want him to do it, you can redress the situation and go, you know what, boo boo, you missed a spot. Yeah, that's on a conscious level. On a subconscious level, let's keep it real. On a subconscious level, this is me when I've asked my husband to do the cleaning up. I'll be sitting there, I'll be biting my tongue so hard. I'll just be like, okay, yeah, he's doing the cleaning today. I'm just going to focus on the kids. I'm going to be focused on spending time with them and having a good time with them. My guy starts to do the cleaning. I'm there with the kids. I'm like, I'm ignoring this. I don't care what's going on. I don't care what's going on outside this room. I'm having fun. I'm enjoying my babies. But you're listening. You're listening for sounds of activity. You're like, okay, he said that he's going to do the downstairs. So downstairs, we've got the living rooms, we've got the bathroom, we've got the kitchen. Okay. Why do I not hear him hoovering first? Don't you know that you need to hoover first before you dust? Wait, well, why do I just hear sort of shuffling? What is he shuffling around? Is he shuffling papers? Like half listening, playing with the kids. Mommy, 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 baby. Why is he not tidying up things in the kitchen first? Don't you know if you like do the kitchen, you have to tidy up the surfaces first. Take all the dirt from the surfaces, it falls onto the ground, and then you clean the floor. You don't clean the floor first because you clean the floor is now clean, you've mopped the floor, and then you've got dirt on the counters. And then that dirt is just going to go down to the floor. And then, what's the point of having plus you have to leave it to dry, and then I'm like, okay, but he started this job, but he hasn't actually put the sort of bleach in the toilet. Shouldn't he put the bleach in the toilet first? That way it's a longer time for it. I'm sitting there like pacing his work in my head by the time that he's done, because I'd be like keeping score of like how long has this thing taken him. By the time that he's done, do you know, I would be like sitting there all emotional. I'd be emotional like to the point that I'm ready to fight. I'm like, why am I actually ready to fight? Dude is actually helping me out. But in my mind, I'd be like, you know what? This took too long. I don't think he did a good job. I think, he wasn't pacing himself properly. And, I didn't hear that Hoover going for long enough. And I know for a fact he was just swinging that Hoover. He wasn't really getting into the dirt. I know he didn't do those skirting boards. I'm sorry, I'm a boarding school product, so I know about skirting boards. We used to actually have on Saturday spring clean, and the matron would come and inspect it. So that comes from that you can't tell me that you've cleaned a house when I still see dust on your skirting boards. Okay, you clean the skirting boards, good for you. Now what about the rims, the edges of your doors? And of course on top of the door as well. You need to be cleaning all of that, boo-boo. I need to lose that. I need to lose that over controlling. And I know it sounds awful. I actually sound awful listening back to myself. I know it sounds awful, but I know I need to lose it. But subconsciously being able to do it, that's the hard part. So, can you just tell me, can you help a sister out here? Say in the comment section below, what are the things that you find hard to let go of when it comes to housework? What are the internal dialogues that are stopping you from letting someone else do the housework? If you're in my situation, I really need some help here. And I'm going to a counselor for cleaning addiction. Oh, counselor, please help me. I'm not that bad. I'm not that bad. So, because what I need to know is, is there actually a better way? Is there a better way to negotiate? And is there an easier way to do things? How are you doing things? And how do you let go of that pervasive, in my case, that all present question? Why is this person not doing this and not doing that? How do you let go of that to be able to actually let someone else do the cleaning, do the ironing? I'll stand there while it's ironing. I'm just like, there's creases everywhere. How do you let go of that? That is like the hardest thing for me to let go. Seriously. So if you could like let me know in the comment section below, what are the kind of things that you guys do in terms of helping each other out, and how do you share housework? That would be really, really useful to me. Now, as I said before in yesterday's thing, I'm going to be doing these live streams every single day, except for maybe Sunday and Saturday. I don't know yet. I'll see. But every single morning, you need to check in my discussion panel because it's going to tell you what time I'm going to be on. The time is going to change because it depends on my husband's schedule, because he has business meetings and stuff that he still has to turn up for. So in all reality, all my work can be done as long as it ends up online. It can be done at any time during the day. So I either work in the mornings now or I work at night. So afternoons. I'm sleeping at night usually from like 7:30. So yeah. So I will say in the discussion panel what time you can expect to see me on that day. I'm sorry I can't give any more notice than that, but that's just the way that my life is at the moment. I'm working myself back into getting into a working routine. So yeah, slowly, one step at a time. Now for tomorrow, I've had a very interesting challenge. I'm freaked out like anything. I've had a very interesting challenge from a cousin of mine. We were talking about Shona. I seem to have loads of conversations nowadays about Shona, and I love Shona. You know, with my family, Shona feels more natural. With my husband, there's no point even like speaking to him because he doesn't understand it. He understands certain words, but he can't. If I start to speak animated and I'm excited, he can't figure out what the heck I'm saying. So tomorrow, my cousin set a challenge for me, which I know she's going to be watching, and she's probably going to be cracking up. My challenge is to speak in nothing but Shona. So, yeah, you heard it. My challenge is to speak in nothing but Shona tomorrow. So tomorrow, oh, babies are awake, running around. Tomorrow, my, oh dear. Tomorrow, my entire live stream is going to be in Shona, nothing else. I haven't decided a topic yet. If you want to, you can comment in this video before tomorrow and ask me what you'd like me to cover tomorrow, or you can just come in and ask me questions. But I'm going to try and find something that requires me to be very expressive. That way I'm completely challenged to use my Shona language completely in the entire thing. Now, this is the other thing as well that just, right now, I'm aching because I'm like, I could be on top of that. I could be soothing the children and sorting the house out. I've got to let go of certain things. So please give me your comments and your tips about what kinds of things that you're doing in your household that help you divide the work between the partners, and, you know, also things like childcare as well. How do you divide all of that, and how do you become at peace with letting go of certain things in terms of housekeeping and childcare? Anyway, thank you guys so much for listening, and I will see you again tomorrow on Thursday, the 9th of April, 2020, while we are in lockdown, baby. If you're bored, if you have kids, remember we have the kids channel, Sarura Kids, which is here on YouTube. Again, with Sarura Kids, I'm also trying to do as much live streaming as I possibly can, because I know a lot of us are going to be stuck at home, not having much access to going outdoors. And sometimes it's just nice for kids to play with other kids. So you can come and play date with Ano and one guy, because we go outside quite a lot. We go outside like every single day. So I'm going to try and make it so that when we do go outside, I live stream it so you guys can actually enjoy a little bit of play outdoors with the girls. It'll be nice to have you there. And always feel free to drop a comment as well while we're in the live chat. That would be brilliant. Anyway, you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you again tomorrow. Bye.